Welcome to Middleway News. We provide the latest news highlights and summaries each day to give you a quick snapshot of what's happening today and why. Here is the latest news and breaking news for the U.S. and the world today.
Diamondback Energy and Endeavor. Energy, two rivals in the Permian Basin, are completing a merger that would create an oil and gas behemoth valued at more than $50 billion. Biden's 2022 climate law is driving faster-than-expected growth in electric vehicle purchases and clean energy projects, doubling the projected cost to taxpayers while potentially accelerating emissions reductions. A boardroom brawl at Walt Disney is expected to be the most expensive shareholder fight ever and a chance for everyday investors to have a big impact. Israel's Netanyahu, raising the stakes in his widening rift with Biden, said Israel must pursue Hamas in the southern Gaza city of Rafah until the militant group is destroyed. Israel's military said it conducted a series of strikes in southern Gaza and that it rescued 2 hostages. 6 people, including a prominent Nigerian banker, died in a helicopter crash in California's Mojave Desert. An heir of the Reichman real estate dynasty has secured financial commitments from investors for a venture into San Francisco's stumbling office building market. Stocks that are continuously hitting new highs are rekindling a perennial debate among investors about whether they are too pricey. Appliance makers are lobbying for a change to the Energy Department's periodic adjusting of efficiency standards, advocating that evolving technology should dictate benchmarks, not government timetables. Biden and NATO leaders denounced former President Trump's recent remarks that he would encourage Russia to invade U.S. allies that don't contribute sufficiently to military defense. Nawaz Sharif, a former Prime Minister of Pakistan, held chats with other parties to form a government as followers of jailed opposition leader Imran Khan alleged last week's election was rigged. Americans' utility bills are getting wrapped up in the fight over the White House's effective freeze last month of new approvals for liquefied natural gas shipments. Nevada and Texas are among states wooing companies to incorporate under their legal regimes as some firms express discontent with Delaware's rules. Russian forces are using SpaceX's satellite internet system near the front line in occupied parts of Ukraine, a Kyiv intelligence agency said, possibly undercutting a major advantage for Ukraine. Defense Secretary Austin returned to the hospital, marking his second stay this year at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, following a surgery he had for prostate cancer in December. Republican Representative Mike Gallagher, a fourth-term lawmaker who chairs a committee aimed at helping the U.S. compete against China, said he won't run for re-election. Samsung has recently reclaimed its status as the world's top smartphone seller, overcoming Apple. This shift came about largely due to Apple's iPhone shipments declining by 9.6%, compared to Samsung's smaller decline of just 0.7%. Increased competition for Apple in the Chinese market, particularly against companies like Xiaomi, also contributed to their reduced sales. Caitlin Clark was selected as the first overall pick in the WNBA draft by the Indiana Fever. Retail sales smashed forecasts in March, showing that consumer spending remains strong despite inflation. Beijing half-marathon organizers are investigating allegations that runners from Kenya and Ethiopia intentionally allowed China's He Jai to win. Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial began yesterday with jury selection. LA's 101 freeway will be closed in some places for several weeks, while the city builds the world's largest wildlife crossing. David Chang apologized and said he and his culinary brand Momofuku will no longer try to trademark the term Chili Crunch after widespread backlash. In NBA news, Bucks preparing to be without Giannis for playoffs, and the former Los Angeles Clippers star Blake Griffin retires. Tesla is planning to lay off over 14,000 employees, more than 10% of its global workforce, in its first large-scale layoffs in over a year, according to an internal memo this week. The Gates to premiere in January 2025 on CBS and will be first daytime network soap opera in over 30 years to primarily feature a black family. Stanford University releases its annual Artificial Intelligence Index report, finds AI systems now match or exceed human performance on a number of basic tasks. Goldman Sachs tops earnings and revenue expectations, reports 28% increase in first quarter profits of over $4 billion, or $11.58 per share. the highest earnings per share since the third quarter of 2021. U.S. Supreme Court allows Idaho law banning gender-affirming care for minors to broadly take effect, excluding plaintiffs who challenged the law, while appeals process plays out. Salesforce shares fall 7% on reports of potential deal to buy data management firm Informatica, valued at $10 billion. Live Nation shares fall in after-hours trading on report of possible Justice Department antitrust suit.
Thank you for watching the Middleway News Daily Update.
Thank you for experiencing today's Middleway News Daily Update. We hope you enjoyed today's top news highlights and summaries. Be sure to check out our other Middleway News services, products, summaries, updates, videos, podcasts, and more.